Have you ever looked around and wondered about the science behind everyday things? Why does popcorn pop? How do those fluffy clouds stay up in the air? And why do we yawn even when we're not tired? Science is not just for scientists in labs. It's happening all around us all the time. It's in the food we eat, the air we breathe, and even in our own bodies. Get ready for a fun and exciting journey as we explore the science behind some of the most common yet fascinating phenomena. We'll unravel the mysteries of the everyday, from the tiniest popcorn kernel to the vastness of the blue sky. So buckle up, science explorers, and get ready to be amazed by the wonders of the world around us.
Let's face it, popcorn is amazing. But have you ever wondered how those little kernels transform into fluffy, delicious snacks?
It's all thanks to the magic of science. Inside each kernel of popcorn is a tiny droplet of water surrounded by starch. When you heat the kernel, the water inside turns into steam. The steam wants to escape, but the hard outer shell of the kernel traps it. The pressure builds and builds until pop! The kernel explodes, turning the starch inside out and creating that airy puff we all know and love. So next time you enjoy a bag of popcorn, remember the incredible science that made it possible.
Clouds, those fluffy white shapes drifting across the blue canvas of the sky, always spark a sense of wonder. But how do they form and why do they float?
Imagine this. Warm, moist air rises from the Earth's surface. As this air goes higher, it starts to cool down. Now, this cool air can't hold as much moisture as warm air, so some of the water vapor in the air starts to condense. This means the water vapor turns back into tiny water droplets, or ice crystals, clinging onto microscopic particles in the air like dust or pollen. And voila! These countless tiny droplets or crystals clump together, forming the clouds we see floating in the sky. But why do they float if they're made of water? Well, the tiny water droplets and ice crystals in clouds are so small and light that they are easily held aloft by rising air currents. It's like a delicate dance between water and air, creating a breathtaking spectacle above us.
We've all done it. That big involuntary intake of breath, stretching our mouths wide. Yawning is something we do every day. But why?
Scientists believe that yawning helps cool down our brains. When we yawn, the deep inhale of air and the stretching of our jaw muscles increase blood flow to the head. This brings cooler blood to the brain, helping to regulate its temperature. Yawning can also be contagious. Have you ever noticed that seeing someone yawn often triggers a yawn of your own? Scientists believe this might be due to empathy and social bonding. So, next time you yawn, don't fight it. Your brain might just be thanking you for the cool down.
Section 5. Science, the secret ingredient of life. From the popping of popcorn to the formation of clouds, science is the secret ingredient that makes the world around us so fascinating. It's a constant source of wonder, revealing the hows and whys behind everything we see, hear, touch, taste, and smell. Understanding the science behind everyday phenomena not only satisfies our curiosity, but also allows us to appreciate the intricate workings of our universe. So keep those curious minds engaged and never stop questioning the world around you. You never know what amazing secrets you might uncover.
Section 6. The science behind rainbows, a spectrum of wonder. Rainbows, those arcs of color that grace the sky after a rain shower, have captivated people for centuries. But have you ever wondered how these mesmerizing displays of color are created? The science behind rainbows lies in the interaction of sunlight and water droplets in the air. When sunlight passes through raindrops, it gets bent and separated into its different wavelengths, which we perceive as colors. This bending of light is called refraction, and it causes the different colors of light to spread out, creating the spectrum of colors we see in a rainbow: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. So the next time you're lucky enough to witness a rainbow, remember the magical interplay of sunlight, water, and the laws of physics that create this stunning natural phenomenon. Section 7. Why is the sky blue? Unraveling the azure enigma. We gaze up at it every day, But have you ever stopped to wonder why the sky is blue? It turns out that this seemingly simple question has a fascinating scientific explanation. The blue color of the sky is a result of a phenomenon called Rayleigh scattering. When sunlight enters the Earth's atmosphere, it collides with tiny air molecules, mainly nitrogen and oxygen. These molecules scatter the sunlight in all directions, but they scatter blue and violet light more effectively than other colors because blue and violet light have shorter wavelengths. This scattered blue light is what we see as the color of the sky. At sunset, however, the sky often appears red or orange. This is because the sunlight has to travel through a greater thickness of the atmosphere to reach our eyes. As the sunlight travels this longer path, the blue and violet light is scattered away, leaving the longer wavelengths of red and orange to dominate the sky's colors. Section 8. From Oven to Table. The Science of Baking Bread. Baking bread is an art form, but it's also a delicious example of science in action. From the mixing of ingredients to the baking in the oven, each step involves fascinating chemical reactions that transform simple ingredients into a fluffy, flavorful loaf. When flour, water, yeast and salt are combined, the yeast comes alive and starts to feed on the sugars in the flour. This process, called fermentation, produces carbon dioxide gas which gets trapped within the dough, causing it to rise. The heat of the oven further activates the yeast and causes the gas bubbles to expand, giving the bread its light and airy texture. Meanwhile, the starches in the flour gelatinize, providing structure to the loaf, and the proteins brown, creating that irresistible crust. So the next time you enjoy a slice of freshly baked bread, remember the intricate science that transformed simple ingredients into this culinary delight. Section 9. The Chemistry of Cooking. Reactions that tantalize our taste buds. Cooking is not just about following recipes. It's about understanding the chemical reactions that occur when ingredients are heated, mixed, and transformed. From the Maillard reaction that browns meat to the caramelization of sugars, chemistry plays a crucial role in creating the flavors and textures we love. The Maillard reaction, named after the French chemist Louis-Camille Maillard, is a chemical reaction between amino acids and reducing sugars that gives browned food its distinctive flavor. This reaction occurs at high temperatures and is responsible for the deliciousness of seared steaks, roasted coffee, and baked bread. Caramelization, on the other hand, is the browning of sugar, a process used extensively in cooking for the resulting nutty flavor and brown color. Caramelization is what gives caramel candies their characteristic flavor and is also responsible for the browning of onions when they are sautéed. By understanding the science behind these reactions, we can become better cooks, controlling the flavors and textures of our dishes with precision. Section 10. The Physics of Carbonated Drinks, a Bubbly Affair. There's something undeniably refreshing about the fizz of a carbonated drink. But have you ever wondered how those bubbles get there in the first place? It's all thanks to the science of carbonation. Carbonation is the process of dissolving carbon dioxide gas into a liquid, such as water or soda. This is typically done by forcing carbon dioxide into the liquid under high pressure. When you open a can or a bottle of soda, the pressure is released and the dissolved carbon dioxide gas escapes in the form of bubbles. These bubbles rise to the surface, creating the characteristic fizz and tingling sensation in your mouth. The level of carbonation in a drink can also affect its taste. Highly carbonated drinks tend to taste crisper and more refreshing, while less carbonated drinks may have a flatter taste. So the next time you enjoy a bubbly beverage, take a moment to appreciate the science that makes it so fizzy and delicious. Section 11. The Science of Sleep, Unveiling the Mysteries of Slumber. Sleep, that essential activity that occupies about a third of our lives, is more than just a period of rest for our bodies and minds. It's a complex physiological process governed by our internal clock, known as the circadian rhythm. This internal clock regulates our sleep-wake cycle, releasing hormones like melatonin that signal our bodies to wind down and prepare for sleep. During sleep, our brains are busy consolidating memories, repairing tissues, and building up our immune systems. Sleep is divided into different stages, each characterized by distinct brainwave patterns. These stages cycle throughout the night, with deep sleep being crucial for physical restoration. And and REM sleep being important for dreaming and memory consolidation. Understanding the science of sleep can help us improve our sleep habits and address sleep disorders, leading to better overall health and well-being. So, make sure to prioritize sleep and give your body and mind the rest they deserve.